Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Y'all, I need to tell y'all the truth about credit scores. And I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to keep it light, but I can't sit on this information no longer, okay? So the first credit card was created in 1950. It wasn't until 1989 the first credit score was invented. A credit score's only purpose its only purpose is to tell banks, credit card companies, and other lenders how likely you are to pay somebody back. That is it. That is it. Okay. And really, over the last, 33, almost 34 years, credit scores have been overrated in the minds of the average person. I don't know how we got here. I don't know why we are here. But there are people every single year that ask what I would consider not educated questions like this about, why they would take a perfect credit score over any amount of cash. The reality is, even if you have an 800 credit score, like me, or you have a credit score in the 600s or 700s, regardless of what it is, all it does is give you access to money. Here's the thing. That money is not unlimited. That money is not free, and there's some, I don't know what you want to call it, misconception that, like, right now, I have an 800 credit score. I can go to the bank and I can ask for a loan, okay? My income is $60,000. They're not going to give me a $500,000 loan to go and start a business. That's not how it works. And even if they did, I only make $60,000, what do you think those payments are going to be to give somebody, what is that, 30 times more? Is that right? Am I doing that math right? 30 times more of their income? Right? And how are those payments going to work? Like, I think for some reason, I don't know whether it's some of these scammers on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, but it's not what you think it is. Okay. That's not to say your credit score isn't important. If you are looking to get a home, if you are looking to get a car, a decent car payment, and sometimes even jobs, like you should keep a solid credit score. But what I would not do is shoot for a specific goal and make that like the only thing that you try and do. Your net worth is more important. The percentage that you save is more important, where you're talking about your savings account or even your investing account. Those things are more important. And the reason why they're more important is because, one, they're tangible. Two, they're transferable. I've got 2 kids. I talk about generational wealth all the time. I've written books and stuff about them. I can't give my kids my 850 credit score. I can't give them my 825 credit score. I can't do that. Now, I can help them build their own credit, which I am doing, but I can leave them with real estate. I can leave them with a business. I can leave them with actual assets. Your credit score is a tool. It is something you can use, but the reason why it's not the most important thing is because it can be gamed very easily, unlike investing. I cannot, create some shortcut to get to $1 million by investing in the stock market. That's not a thing. I can invest over time. I can do my research and grow my money over time. I can dollar cost average. I can do all that stuff, the things you should be doing. I can invest in index funds. I can do all that stuff, but there's no shortcut to it. There are plenty of legitimate shortcuts and tips and tricks just to gamify this system, because it only goes up to 850 anyway. What are some of the ways I'm talking about? An example is, just making sure that I can open a credit card. Let's say I'm starting at ground zero like I did in 2012. Open a credit card and not use it, because a good 30% of my score is just based on my credit length, right? Like, how long have I just had the credit card open? I can just have it and do nothing. Every 6 months or every year, you can call and say, hey, I've made my payments on time. I've never carried a balance. Can you increase the limit on my card? And I go from $1,000 to a $2,000 limit. I can go from $10,000 to $30,000 and still not use a card, and that is going to help my credit availability. That's going to increase my score. And I can do that every single year, which I have been doing. And boom, you go from having a 500 or 600 credit score when I first started to an 800, right? What good does that do? My income would not have changed. And if I were to go out and borrow money for something, I'm still gonna have to pay on that. And even though my credit score is high, I still can't walk to a bank. And mind you, I worked at banks. They're not gonna just say, look, you make $60,000, you make $70,000. Here's a $500,000 loan to go do stuff with and go invest with. That is a myth. It don't work like that. And just like when you apply for a credit card right now, they ask you what your income is, and you have to put in what your actual income is. If you don't, that is fraud, and you are going to jail. So you don't want to do that. But they ask you what your income is, and they use that information to tell you how much you are going to get as a limit. It is not some magical thing where you can just borrow any amount of money. But most importantly, if you're making $60,000, you do not want to have a $500,000 loan. You are not going to be able to pay that back, and you're not likely to take $500,000 and flip it fast enough in a legitimate way to make those payments work at the interest rates that are apparent right now. That is extremely difficult. Therefore, you should just not, covet a credit score in the way that I think American society does. Like, it's okay to have, it's important to have. I think it's like, I don't know, I want to call it a speeding limit, but it's like your GPA. It's like your GPA. It's great when you need it. After a certain while, nobody asks you about it anymore. And really nobody cares after a certain point. When I got my first job out of college, it was real important, right? The first 2 jobs, really, it was real important. When I was applying to grad school, it was real important. People asked me what my GPA was. I had to memorize it. I had to turn in transcripts. Like, people really cared what my GPA was those 3 times, okay? The first job I got, the second job I got, grad school. That was it. Every other job I've had since then, and they've been paying more ever since, they ain't never asked me. Right, they asked me whether I graduated, but they did not ask me what my GPA was. And for those who are asking, it was like a 3.6 or a 3.7. No. And I think undergrad was a 3.4. I think grad school was a 3.7. It was high enough, okay? Whatever it was, because I know somebody gonna ask me. So that it's only useful for those instances. When was my credit score needed? When I got my first cell phone on my own. When I got my house, I pay all my cars in cash. So I didn't need it then, and that was it. That was really it. That's a handful of circumstances. Now, that's not to say that I completely ignore my credit score. That's not to say that I, will tank my credit score and go from an 800 to a 400 or whatever. It's not that, but it's just useful in only a certain amount of circumstances. And I think we need to treat it as such. What is more important is your net worth. What do you have after all the bills are paid, and is that moving in a positive direction? We did a whole video last week about tracking your net worth and why it's important. But also, I would say the most important metric that you should track is what % are you investing. That is the most important thing. What % are you investing and saving of your salary? That is going to be the biggest determinator of how quickly you will build wealth and whether or not you're going to build wealth at all. Is why I always say 15% should be that base. As close as you can get to 15%. If you are saving that 15%, if you're investing that 15%, you are going to be on your way to be quite wealthy in a manner of time. People that you see who, hit millionaire status by 40 or even 30, a lot of times they've done so by saving half of their salary or 60 or 70% of their salary. And they did that in different ways. Either having an extreme income is one way. Sometimes they got a bunch of roommates, stayed with parents for a while. However you do it, the main thing is, what is the % that you are investing? What % are you saving? That is the biggest metric that you should be paying attention to. It is not your credit score. It's only been invented in my lifetime. Yeah, so I was born in '89. That's how long credit scores have been here. And it tells you that people who have been building wealth well before 1989 had done so without credit scores. So it could not have been that important, okay? Is it useful? Yeah, but only in certain circumstances. It's like, almost like an umbrella. Like, it's useful when it's rainy. Unless you live in Seattle, it ain't raining every single day. So keep your credit score up. You want more tips on that, we can talk about it. But the real thing, how much are you investing? What % is that? Is it growing? Those are the most important things that you should be tracking. Your credit score, extremely limited, not all that important. And if you are watching somebody online, even though you're watching me online right now, and they are just touting credit scores and what they can, all the money you think you can borrow, don't buy into it. I see people fall for this every single time. Just don't do it. Okay, so I know this is more of a rant, not the investing content that you normally see from me in the normal style, but I had to get off my chest. Okay, I can't sit here in the year 2023 and watch so many people avert their eyes and pay attention to something that's super shiny and makes you think you are doing something when in reality you're not. When your credit score goes from 750 to 800, your bank account does not change. I woke up and my credit score changed from time to time because paying off a student loan, right? And all these things will change your credit score. And I got an alert that, oh, your credit score is back above 800. And I checked my bank account, it was the exact same thing it was the day before. But nothing changed, right? If I hit 850 credit score, that does not mean I can just retire. It doesn't do anything for me, right? Except I can go and ask somebody for some more money and I can pay them back some exorbitant interest rate. It's not what most people think it is. And I feel like the people who tout it the most, talk about it the most, brag about it the most are those that, probably don't have it because, not money, but haven't actually had that score. Because once you get there, you realize that it's not what people thought it out to be. Okay, so I just had to say that. Sorry if that hurt anybody's feelings, but it is what it is. Track how much you're investing, track how much you are saving, and that's what is actually going to build you up. All right, that is it for me. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Before I let y'all go, because you made it this far, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Helps the algorithm and helps the video get out to more people, especially if you enjoyed it, because you're still here. So go ahead and hit the like button, it's free, and then leave a comment. All right, that is it for me. I will talk to y'all later. Bye.